Hello friends, welcome to Insights Icon Initiative. In today's video, we are going to discuss about Russia's Luna-25. You know that students, the Russia's Luna-25, it crashed onto the moon surface, and Russia is ambitiously trying to land on the, the south pole of the moon. So, but of course it was not successful, and after 2 days we are going to have a Chandrayaan-3 which is trying to land on the south pole of the moon. So we are going to discuss about some of the detailed analysis regarding the Luna-25. As usually, first we will finish the syllabus mapping, then we will do the video components before we start the actual analysis. Now first let me explain how this is related to in UPSC point of view. In UPSC point of view, it is related to General Studies, Paper 3, Science and Technology. In terms of Science and Technology, India's achievement in the Science and Technology, and how this science and technology achievement is going to be useful. That is the syllabus mapping point of view. And in this video, you can expect why it is in news, this Luna-25, and what is this Luna program is all about. Luna program is about, it is from which country? Soviet Union. And what is the significance of this for Russia? Then Apollo program of USA and Chang program of China. Chandrayaan program of India. We are going to discuss about these different programs of different countries. Now before we discuss all these things, first we start our discussion with the comparison of Luna-25 to Chandrayaan-3. You know that students, both Luna-25 and Chandrayaan-3, both are targeting to land near the south pole of the moon, and of course both are the lunar projects. And now we are going to do some comparison between the Luna-25 and Chandrayaan-3. Let us observe here. Chandrayaan-3. Chandrayaan-3 was launched on 14th of July, whereas Luna-25 launched on August 11th. Of course, if you look at the both Chandrayaan-3 trajectory and Luna-25 trajectory, you know that the Chandrayaan-3, its trajectory is about, it was having multiple revolutions around the Earth before it is leaving the Earth's gravitational fields and Earth's trajectory, and after entering into the moon's trajectory, it was going to have multiple trajectories around the moon before finally it was having landing on the moon surface. Because of this multiple trajectories around both Earth as well as the moon, the tentative date of Chandrayaan, of this Luna-25, Chandrayaan-3, it is going to be the August 23rd, whereas the Luna-25, it was having some less trajectories around the Earth compared to the Chandrayaan-3. Just around one revolution, then straight away it aimed towards the moon. That means obviously that is the reason, even though it was started late, the Luna-25, even though launched on 11th of August, it was able to fix the date of landing on 21st August. So overall, the number of days estimated for Chandrayaan-3, 40 days, whereas Luna-25, 10 days. I hope you understood why this difference between the Luna-25 and Chandrayaan-3. Of course, now Chandrayaan-3, we have to see how it is going to be performed. Luna-25, it is already crash landed. That is the reason we are discussing now. Let us do some more comparison between the Chandrayaan-3 and Luna-25. Let's see, students, here. First, the launching vehicle. The launching vehicle we used from Chandrayaan-3, that is about the launch vehicle Mark 3 M4 version. Whereas for the Luna-25, Suez 2.1B, that is the launch vehicle. Then space launch. The launch station is about Satish Dhawan Space Center, India, whereas the Vostochny Cosmodrome, Russia. Actually, students, normally few countries call astronauts the people who are going to space, whereas countries like Russia, they refer cosmonauts, and other countries astronauts. From where these cosmonauts will be sent? From Cosmodrome. Then even if you look at the launch mass, Chandrayaan-3 launch mass is about 3,900 kg. Almost all it is more than more than double of Luna-25. Payload mass 1,752. It is going to contain lander as well as a rover. This Luna-25, it did not contain any rover. Simply it was a lander. Apart from this, India was aiming for South Pole, whereas Luna-25, it aimed at the Bogoslavsky. It is one of the nearest site to South Pole. And launching date we have seen. And regarding the Chandrayaan-3, 19 days it will take around orbiting around the Earth. Then 5 days traveling from Earth to Moon, and 18 days it will revolve around the moon before finally it is going to have soft landing on the moon. So these are some of the basic differences between the Luna-25 as well as Chandrayaan-3. Now let us try to understand what is the main difference between the soft landing and hard landing. This is very frequently we will use, especially in topics like these. Okay, now let's see landing. Landing generally it is of two types: hard landing as well as the soft landing. Hard landing generally it resulted to the crushing of that particular, crushing of that particular equipment. All that equipment will get damaged due to the hard landing. Whereas soft landing, like how a cat is landing on the surface of the surface normally on the surface of any any surface. When cat is getting land, it lands in a very soft or smooth way because of the cushions or pads present in the legs. In the same way, when you are having the soft landing, obviously the impact of that landing will be very less, so there will be less damaging. Whereas hard landing, it causes a lot of damage. That is the main difference between the hard landing and soft landing. If you remember, students, Chandrayaan-2, okay, Chandrayaan-2, the Chandrayaan-2, which was landed on the moon, that was hard landing. Because of that hard landing, Chandrayaan-2 was not succeeded. Now we are going to see Chandrayaan-3 landing on the surface of the moon. We'll see whether that is going to be the hard landing or soft landing, and we are expecting that it will be the soft landing. And one more thing you have to understand here, one more concept, that is, the students, like moon rotation as well as revolution. The time takes for rotation as well as revolution of the moon around the earth, rotation around its own axis, it takes same time, that is 24 hours. Because of that, only one side of the moon is visible to us. The other side of the moon generally we refer as far side of the moon. Very, very important. The other side of the moon is known as what? Far side of the moon. I'll ask you one question, students. In last few decades, which country was successfully able to land on the south pole of the moon? Tell me, students. In last few decades, which country successfully able to land on the south pole of the moon? You know that moon south pole is always on the dark side. By landing there, we can get some additional information regarding the moon surface as well as the moon atmosphere. Because it is not exposed to the temperature, we may also find some interesting information regarding the solar system, origins related to solar system formation and all these things. Now, Luna-25. Why we are discussing? Because of the hard landing, it ended its life, as well as it crashed onto the surface of the moon, and it is popularly designated as Luna Globe Lander. It is a Russian lunar lander mission. It is related to Russia Luna series. Launched on 10th of August, rocket Soyuz 2.1B. Launching station from where it was launched, Vostochny Cosmodrome in Russia's far eastern Amur region. Landing site, the south pole at the crater Boguslavsky. This was the crater near to that where they want to launch. Next, what is the main purpose of this mission? To know about the composition of the polar region, the south polar region of the moon, as well as to understand the atmosphere of the moon, the composition of the gases and all these things. Plasma and dust component of the lunar exosphere. And this duration of the Luna-25, it expected it's going to last for 1 year, approximately 1 year it was going to launch. Next, this Luna series. Luna series is all about the Russia's moon exploration projects. And before Luna-25, Luna-24 was launched. It was launched in 1976. That was the last expedition of the Russia with respect to moon. Since 1976, Russia did not venture regarding the moon's exploration, and in the last few decades, the only country which succeeded on the soft landing on the moon, even on the south pole also, that was only China's Chang-3 and Chang-4 missions. These are the Luna series. Luna-2 it started 1959. It was the first human-made object which reached to Earth, surface of the moon. After 10 years, students, in 1969, America was successfully able to send their astronauts onto the surface of moon. But it was Russia which sent the first man-made object onto the surface of the moon. 1966, the first successful soft landing on the moon, and it sent back the images. 66. Luna-16, successful return the soil samples from the moon to the earth. Luna-24, it collected and returned the lunar soil samples. These are some of the very popular lunar programs. Then, what is the significance? What is the significance of this project to Russia? The first significance is, now the Russia is involving in the war with Ukraine. Obviously, if this would have been successful, then Russia would have a lot of reputation in the international community that even though the war is going on, still Russia was able to pull off a great success in the science. So is going to be the biggest advantage to the Russia. And the second one is it also reflected the Russia's commitment to the lunar exploration, and it is also the Russia's determination towards its contribution to the scientific advancement and exploring the lunar surface. So this is all the significance of the Russia's Luna-25. And with respect to America's lunar programs, they are popularly known as Apollo 11, 1969, which sent Neil Armstrong as well as Buzz Aldrin onto the surface of the moon. Then they followed with Apollo 12, 14, 15, 16 and 17. These are the followed up lunar mission. Here you have to understand 1969. 1969 is a very significant year. In the 1969, even the ISRO was also formed in 1969. Not only the ISRO, even the first time bank's nationalization was done in the 1969. Tell me, students, when was the second time bank nationalization was done? Next, in 1969, Nobel Prize in Economics was also introduced. In 1969, even the Dada Saheb Phalke Award also introduced. These are some of the significant events related to 1969 and Apollo programs. Then China lunar programs are Chang-3, 2013. It successfully landed a rover known as U2 on the surface of the moon. Chang-4, 2019. It was landed on the far side of the moon. Already I told you what is the far side. The side which is not visible to us, that is the far side of the moon, and it deployed their rover U2. Chang-5, 2020. It collected the moon sample and returned those samples to the earth. Next, Chandrayaan program. Chandrayaan-1, 2008. It detected the water molecule, and of course you know that it detected the water molecule with the help of the NASA. Then Chandrayaan-2, 2019. It consisted of orbiter, lander and rover. Orbiter still is working, but the lander and rover, they experienced the hard landing, so they got damaged. Now Chandrayaan-3, 2023. It is towards the moon now. We'll see in few days the fate of that mission. What is the conclusion? The conclusion is now the Luna-25 launch as well as the success would have boosted a lot of reputation to Russia, and now it is also indicating that previously during the Cold War time, countries used to see space as a competition. Now we are seeing space as a cooperation, because each and every country, after they exploring something about the new things related to space or moon, they are sharing that information. Now that competition turned into cooperation in terms of the space. Okay. Next, yesterday's video question. Consider the following statement regarding the International Criminal Court. Regarding the International Criminal Court, which statement is right? The answer is B, 1 and 3. Its jurisdiction having 4 crimes, and it is not part of the UN system. Both are right. All countries except US, China, Russia and India are partner to the Rome Statute. It is not like that. So many countries, they were not part of this. So second statement is wrong. Only B, 1 and 3. Next, consider the following statement regarding the Kuldia Wildlife Sanctuary. It is located in the state of West Bengal. No, students. It is spread across the Chota Nagpur Plateau region. It is right. So only second statement is right. Third one, Gandhi Nagar Declaration. Yesterday itself we have seen it is related to elimination of tuberculosis, TB. Okay. Next. Now we are going to discuss about the today's video question. We'll see today's video question. Okay, students, which of the following statements about significant moon missions is true? Which statements are true regarding the significant moon missions? Read and carefully and tell the answer. Which country is the fourth country to successfully land a spacecraft on the moon? Which one is that? Then with reference to Luna-25 mission, consider the following statements. Which statements are right regarding the Luna-25? And main question, what is India's plan to have its own space station and how will it benefit our space program? So what is this? India plans to have their own space station and how it is going to benefit the India space program. This is the main question. Now as we reach to the end of this video, let us revise this content very quickly. In today's video, we discussed about Luna-25 and its hard crash and its failure. We discussed about how this Russia planned the program, the Luna series, we discussed about that and why it is so significant, what is a hard landing, soft landing, and various lunar experiments or expedition related to USA, China, and India also we discussed that. Apart from this, even we also discussed about why this Luna-25 took a less time compared to the Chandrayaan-3. That one also we discussed about that, and we compare the Luna-25 with the Chandrayaan-3. So this is the detailed analysis regarding the Luna-25.